Good morning. I'm late, fashionably late, for a very important date. I blame the cats. I had to let them out even though it's 40 degrees. Cats with cabin fever. Whoa. All right. All right. Here's your treats. They came back in, but they won't let me go to the door and shut it just yet because they'll run back out. Won't you? See, cats have fur coats. They don't mind cold. Tora didn't know what snow was, but she found out. Oh, yeah, she's running outside anyway. She knows the drill. She knows I'm going to shut the door and not let her go back out and play in the snow. Huh. Hi, sweetie. Sweetie just doesn't trust me and she'll run off if I move suddenly or get up from my chair. Oh, I have a fig bar and a chocolate covered graham cracker. Well, they'll have to wait because you didn't come here to watch me eat. This'll have to be a quick one because I'm working on another story. It's kind of about Mary Magdalene and kind of not. It's a mural on the outside wall of a church in which a painting of Mary Magdalene outside the tomb is facing the small plot where they've buried people, the graveyard. Oh, this weather's killing my sinuses because it's so dry. I've always thought that's weird. It snows, and snow is like made of water, but the air is dry when it snows. I guess because all the moisture in the air is now lying on the ground in the form of ice and snow. A very nice local man dug out my walkway for me. I couldn't do it. I cannot. I tried. I moved just enough snow to open my gate while tramping through snow, but I cannot shovel snow or anything else. My broken hip hasn't healed that well just yet. Oh, and the grocery store delivers, and your first delivery is free, so I had them bring me some groceries a few days ago, and that was very nice. Anyway, not much is happening. In 2 days, the Senate will read the um, votes of the electors, and somebody will be installed in the White House. And frankly, I don't like either one of them, so it's like choosing between Cinderella's stepsisters. Each one is uglier than the other. At least Trump was entertaining. Geez, I don't know. But I came to this small community to get away from the hectic, bustling cities. Even small cities like Orange, which was well, it still is, but I'm not there anymore. It's a small town in the kind of northern part of Orange County, California. I had a very old house. It was really nice for several reasons, um, but old. And when a huge earthquake hit Southern California, yeah, the windows rattled and the house shook, but there was no damage, not even a broken window. And it had an orange tree out front, a navel orange tree. Oh my. And a deodar, a Cedrus deodara. It's a type of cedar tree that was huge. It was so tall, uh, 40, 50 feet tall, that I couldn't get a tree trimmer to come out and trim it. Well, here in the mountains, our cedars can be up to 150 feet tall, 150. And we have crazy guys who climb to the top of the tree with a chainsaw hooked to the belt. There are women who do that, but I haven't seen one yet. It's usually a crazy young man. He goes up with a chainsaw hooked to his belt and lops off any branches that are dead or too close to your roof. And if they're taking out the whole tree, he'll take out all the branches, starting from the lowest branches and working his way up. And then cut off the top of the tree, shimmy down a bit, cut off the new top of the tree, and so forth, till there's nothing left but a stump. Well, anyway, I had to have that done once because the snowplow had undercut a gigantic cedar tree so badly that it could have fallen over onto my neighbor's house. Kept scraping away the dirt on the edge of my property till the roots were hanging out in midair. At the time, it was $600. Nowadays, it would be several thousand. It was a lot. My house payment was under 200. That was the good old days. Wish I had that kind of house payment, but I don't want that house again. I'm happy with the little cabin. Tiny as it is, it's been relatively warm in the winter, partly because it's tiny. The heat can reach everything. Partly because I have huge winter heating bills now, but so far they're covered. Um, I guess last week YouTube didn't like something I was saying because my connection got completely shut off for no discernible reason. I was able to watch videos, do Facebook. I even watched some Amazon Prime. There's a show I like called New Tricks. It's a British show about retired detectives who solve old, cold cases. And it actually has a lot of humor while also being serious. Anyway, um, I'm writing a story in which a painted mural of Mary Magdalene comes to life. I won't give you any spoilers. The original publication should be in the German language from an Austrian publisher. And even though I'm capable of writing it in the German language, It's easier for me to write it in my native language, English, and let them translate it. Because, for one thing, there are idioms, you know, phrases we use that don't mean the same thing in German as in English, and I'm really not up on current popular speech in German, or in English to some extent. I don't hang around with teenagers because my granddaughter's in her 20s. I'm not saying how old my son is. Anyway, even among English speakers in England, and if you're at the dinner table, don't ask for a napkin. Nappies are diapers. I think they call it a serviette. And there's other words that don't mean the same. We see the movies in a theater, they go to the cinema or the pictures. Well, we do use those words, the pictures, the cinema, but we usually have a movie theater. I can't understand Australians much. It isn't just the idiom, it's also the accent. And yet they speak English, and so do I. So in German, I would have a lot of trouble coming up with the correct phrase that would mean what I mean and not something else. Oh, hi, IB Collectibles. I am about to mail off a few books to my favorite eBay seller. Now, I could sell things on eBay myself, but especially this time of year with the snow, it's too hard for me to get to the post office and mail things. I can't walk that far. They tell me that the heat as long as 2 years, the minimum is 6 months, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm not a young puppy. I'm 66. And I'm still doing much better than anyone expected. There's not only pain, but also just inability to move my legs normally. I have to favor the bad leg, and it used to be the good leg. So my current good leg isn't that good. See, I now have two bum knees, plus the broken hip. Anyway, um, I do walk as much as I can because the doctor said to, but I can't make it all the way to the post office, which I think is about a third of a mile from here. I go one block up and then 2 or 3 blocks over. I guess 3. Yeah. And they're long blocks. They're on the main drag, the business district, which is basically one road about a mile long. I have trouble, in fact, when I get a ride to the grocery store. I often quit without getting everything I want because I just don't want to walk anymore. And I use the shopping cart as a walker. There's a series called Dark, Circle K, which is it on Amazon Prime, Netflix? Uh, there's a series called Dark, and it's in German. I should try watching it. I've lost a great deal of my vocabulary, and the dictionary goes only so far. I do recommend the big hardcover Langenscheid's German English dictionary. It's one of the best. Yeah, it's cold. It's about 40 degrees. Warmer than last week. Last week it stayed in the 30s all day. Today it should get up to about 50. Ah. Well, anyway, I should get back to writing my story. In the meantime, I do have books on Amazon. I'm sorry if you don't like Amazon, but it really is the best publisher for me at this time. For example, on one particular book that I've studied, I get about $1 for every copy sold. With a traditional publisher like Ace or Ballantine or Doubleday or Simon and Schuster or Penguin, I'd be lucky to get as much as 10 cents compared to $1 from Amazon. Plus, hi VCAN, plus Amazon pays every month, but you get paid for what months ago. But traditional publishers pay either once a year or twice a year. In fact, I have one publisher in Europe. I'm trying to remember whether it's France or Germany. Anyway, they pay me once a year. Oh, it's in Italy. I just saw the cover in my mind. It's in Italy. They pay once a year. And it isn't much. They, of course, have to pay the cover artist, the translator, the editor, the copy editor, etc. So I'm not saying that they're doing anything wrong. I'm simply saying that I make more money self-publishing at Amazon. And I have looked into Lulu, but in order to make it work, I would have to spend money. And I don't have money to spend. Well, I'll check out Dark. Thank you, Circle K. Beacon is my friend in England. Apparently, I have friends all over the world. Argentina, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, England, Australia, um, the Philippines, Indonesia, India, even Africa, especially Nigeria. And Ebby Robert, it's either Ebby or Eby. Oh, come on, I got a typo already. You can look his books up, I believe. I know you can find Ebby Robert on Facebook. He's Nigerian, very talented young man, an author. He writes legal briefs, and he is a lawyer, an attorney, but he's focusing more and more on his writing, and he asked me to write a foreword for his play, um, Ziggy. I'll type that in. Ziga. I don't know if it's Ziggy or Ziga or what. I'm doing the best I can. Sorry. I don't have a cough button here. I guess there is a mute button, but anyway, it hasn't been published yet, but it will be. Ordinarily, I don't enjoy one. It does center on but that isn't the main plot. Jesus. Okay. My evil connection is unstable, and I do need to get back to work. Oh, that's the wrong thingy. I thought I could plug the phone into but I keep messing up. I don't get the right cable. This is that same one again. Give me the other one. I found that blowing on the charger. I had nice Christmas dinner. It was ham and all the fixings. And then I also had some turkey a couple days later, and so on and so forth. And the cats have plenty of treats and canned food. I think they're running low on kibble, but that's okay. I can get more. Anyway, today I mail off the books to the eBay seller who's then to trudge to the post office, which I can't do, or get someone to drive me and ship the books myself, which might end up something I'd have to do every week or twice a week or more. I'm just so, I don't know the word for it. I don't mind being sheltering at home or shut down. That's what I do. But the whole town is like that. The businesses, the people I know and people I don't know, and so on and so forth. And it's hurting people who need to work for a living and can't work at home. I'm really tired of this. It's depressing. Anyway, I really do have to get back to that story. Um, I'll probably call it Magdalene. I've reached the point where I need to switch the point of view to a living person who's looking at the mural. on the church wall. It'll require a transition. And that's what my early writing used to lack, was transitions. Readers said it was choppy. Oh no, full lockdown in the UK? Well, California is on stay at home except for work or grocery shopping. But Costco, Walmart, even Target, Sam's Club, all the great big stores where you can schmooze with a few hundred of your closest friends, they're doing fine. The small shops, not so much. California might as well be England with a lockdown. And we do have a lot of cases and a lot of deaths, and our hospitals are full, but they aren't necessarily full of COVID patients. There's other reasons to go to a hospital. I don't intend to go to a hospital. I hear a trash snowplow, but there's no snow to plow. I don't know. Anyway, something beeping. Yeah. Well, our COVID restrictions are not actually. Oh, crud. Oh, crud, oh, crud. Oh, dear. Every time I mention the C word or the V word, like virus, YouTube starts to disconnect me. The restrictions are enforced in California. Many sheriff's departments won't enforce them, but the police will. It doesn't matter what the law is. They can require you to wear a mask in order to enter their private property. So I do. It's what they want, and it's their store. And they can require social distancing. That's fine. It's private property. And these people who talk about their constitutional rights, well, excuse me, your rights stop where my nose begins. If I don't want to be near you, you have no right to get near to me. Wow, the beach was packed in California. Sounds like either Huntington Beach or somewhere up north. So anyway, yeah, it's a serious virus, but so are the measles, which didn't used to be. When I was a kid, everybody got the. We had measles vaccines for them. Oh, oh dear. Come on. Come on, you evil thing. Come on. Cancel. Ah, you evil thing. I guess I said another bad word. YouTube's really being stupid. I'm not anti-vax. I get my tetanus shot every few years. I forget how long it's supposed to be. It works, and I don't want tetanus. And it is common up here in the mountains because we have critters. But I've never taken the flu shot. They might finally talk me into it next winter. But it's too late this year. Uh, it is flu season. Likely to catch it anyway. And all I had then was a runny nose. I didn't miss a day of school because I wanted to get away from those sick people. So anyway, um, yeah, and the flu is serious. I just happen to be, I have a lot of immunity to the flu. And this uh, virus that's going around now and causing all this trouble is actually a form of the flu, which would explain why we don't have flu deaths. This one is the flu. And about every 10 years, sometimes 15, sometimes 5, we get a really devastating flu virus. It's bad. But I never heard of people dying from measles until quite recently. The main concern was that if you were a woman of childbearing age and you did not have immunity and you got the measles while pregnant, it could seriously damage your baby. So that's why they developed the shot for the measles. The MMR, measles, mumps, rubella. I wouldn't mind getting that shot now because all of these formerly rather benign diseases are now much more deadly. They were always highly contagious, but now they're really nasty things. I had the measles a couple years ago. I was in the only way I could have contacted it or contracted it was from being close to a woman who had recently been vaccinated. They say that does happen. And you should isolate yourself for 3 days after getting the shot. Oh, she didn't. Anyway, it was pretty nasty. I did have a fever and I ran out of Kleenex and what we call napkins, serviettes, paper towels, because my nose was just running and running. It was pretty bad. And as a child, I had measles, mumps, and rubella. I had a number of illnesses that we didn't prevent back then. We can now. But what I do object to is an infant, barely 1 year old, has had more shots than I had in my entire life. We're overdoing it. My son had all his vaccinations growing up. But when the high school lost his vaccination records and wanted me to get all his shots again, I said no. And they kept bugging me about it and threatening to kick him out of school. So I finally said, look, I have a religious objection. And that ended it. I was about to tell them I was a Christian scientist like my great aunt Florence. So anyway, he had his shots. I just didn't want him to have a second round of the same shots when it wasn't necessary. But they had to have the records. Well, now you can't get a religious exemption in California. And it's hard to get a doctor to write a medical exemption because they're cracking down on doctors for granting too many exemptions from the shots. I'm glad I don't have any small children. As I mentioned earlier, my granddaughter is in her 20s and has no children. Now, children are fine, but I just don't do well with infants. They erp and drool, and changing a diaper is a real horror show for me. I've done it many times. I raised a child of my own, but man, I just can't. It really physically makes me ill. So, anyway, gotta write that story. I'm not going to make Mary Magdalene the wife of Jesus. Just can't go there. But she was one of his most important disciples. Not one of the 12, but very important. And many women followed Jesus. She just happened to be the most important one. Ah, let's hope this year brings more success for my writing because it's really the only work I can do now with that. Meanwhile, you Mirror Maze, all one word, Mirror Maze, Fractured Mirror Publisher. Um, it has 20 different, I think it has 29 stories from 20 authors, and one of the stories is mine, The Mirror Cracked. And there's some very talented authors with very good stories in that book. My story about Mary Magdalene is kind of Gnostic, kind of not. Phil didn't really understand Gnosticism, but he shared some of their ideas. Not all of them. Mirror Maze is a collection of 29 stories. One story is mine. And I got to get going or I'll never write the Magdalene story. So you guys have a great day. And I'll get back to writing here in snowy downtown Crestline. Oh, Circle K. When they built the Tower of Babel, they disobeyed. They did not fill the earth and multiply and be fruitful. They all gathered in one toxic city and built a tower trying to get God to come down and live with them in their stinking city. They were supposed to fill the earth, not gather in one city and try to entice God to come down to them. Babylon was a mistake. But the real reason for the flood is that some of the gods or angels or whatever you want to call them came down, human women, and taught both men and women how to be better sinners than ever before. Helped them, helped women seduce men, helped men seduce women, and helped all the people to wage war better and kill more people with really nasty weapons. So the flood was also to get rid of these little g gods and their offspring who were hybrids. I'll see you next week, if not sooner. Try that again. Anyway, I'm not doing Bible stuff today, but the flood got rid of a lot more than some pesky humans who are too noisy. Catch you guys later. Bye.